Australia is currently grappling with some of the worst fire and drought conditions we've seen, all driven by a hotter, drier climate. Alarmingly, this is not the new normal. If temperatures continue to rise, the new normal will be even worse. The world's nations simply must lift their ambition around emissions reduction if we are to have any hope of avoiding even more dangerous climate change. Of course, global warming demands a global response, but I simply don't buy the argument that Australia's emissions are too small to matter. As such a wealthy nation and one of the biggest polluters per person on the planet, if Australia won't act, who should? Australia must reduce its emissions at home, something that's simply not happening under Scott Morrison. But as the world's biggest coal and gas exporter, we're also heavily exposed to action taken in the rest of the world. And it's an inescapable fact. To meet the Paris commitments on climate, the world simply must transition off fossil fuels. The energy industry itself recently said that meeting the Paris commitments of 2 degrees will see thermal coal demand slump by 2/3 over the next 20 years and coking coal used to make steel by as much as a half. And only recently the German steelmaker ThyssenKrupp made some steel using clean hydrogen instead of coal, so that demand drop might be even faster. But these decisions won't be taken in Canberra. The future of our export coal mines, private operations, will be determined and shaped by decisions taken in Beijing, Tokyo, New Delhi and other capitals, as well as the pace of technological innovation in industries like steelmaking. The job of Australian governments is to be honest with Australian communities and to step in when needed to help support communities that are impacted by decisions taken overseas. Australia is currently grappling with appalling emergencies. While Scott Morrison tells us to be quiet or to be calm, well, we're in the middle of a climate emergency, an emergency that threatens to get even worse for our children and grandchildren. This is not the time to be quiet. This is the time for an honest debate and the time for real action.